2015 Forest Park Cross Country Festival with Brett Guemmer. Did I say that right, Brett?
Yep.
The DeSoto native who ran at UMKC for Coach James Butler, and then now 3 years later is taking his place at UMKC as the distance coach. And let's see, student taught at Grandview, helped out at Grandview, then a year at Jackson and a year at Potosi.
Yep.
And now back at UMKC. Tell me, did you ever previously at some point in your mind think that college coaching is what you wanted to do, or was this not until this opportunity came up?
Yeah, I was actually teaching at Potosi and came up here last year, and one of the photographers took a picture and it ended up on UMKC's website, and I just looked really happy, and I was like, man, that would be really cool if I could like coach college. And Coach Butler actually was like, hey, we need a grad assistant, and we kind of started talking some, and so I actually was coming up to be a grad assistant this past year, and then things just kind of all fell into place. So
right.
Happy accident.
He gets the opportunity to go back to University of New Mexico, and then you get the job here. What were some of the biggest things that you learned from Coach Butler that you use as a coach yourself?
Just a little bit in workouts. Growing up, you always have the mentality of you got to run fast, as much as you can, and you really kind of have to go all out in some of the workouts. And some of the stuff's just been more controlled and just kind of hitting these ranges and not overdoing it. Maybe working out at different times with different people so they're not racing in practice.
Right.
And so those have been some of the great things that we've kind of picked up, and really just kind of getting people to be more competitive as a group and not necessarily individuals on your team. And so that was always good for us. And then just kind of learning how to work with kids and work with our athletes he's just been pretty good with that. So
yeah. Well, obviously it kind of developed pretty quickly, but how chaotic was that, or him leaving and then you obviously interviewing for the job and getting that? How did that play out?
Yeah, it was actually kind of weird because we had been talking about just recruiting some different people, and I was on the road and found out in a text message from some of the people on the team that, hey, he had been gone. I was basically out in the woods and couldn't get phone service, and so didn't get any messages until I got these text messages all popping up, and so yeah, that's kind of how I found out. And
you didn't have an accident? I hope you pulled over to read them. And
I actually did, and I don't ever really pull over, and I saw this stuff kind of popping up, and I just looked down real quick and I was like, whoa, I got to pull over and go through this stuff.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of crazy, because then we were in just kind of this limbo of what to do, and some of the athletes were coming to me and asking me, what do we do? How do we go about it? Who do I go to if I have any issues with stuff? And I was like, well, for right now, I'm your go-to guy, but in a month or in 2 or 3 weeks, that might not be the case. So then it just kind of became this waiting game, and interview process was fun. It was interesting because I basically knew every single person that interviewed me.
Right.
So that was actually kind of a weird position for me, but it's been hectic. I feel like I'm finally starting to get caught up on everything, and getting in the know is kind of a big thing for me right now. So, but it's been a blast. Yeah.
And what are your any things that give you the most worry as a college coach now that you didn't have to think about before? Now that you're a head cross country coach, things that you worry about or concerned about or enjoy more.
I enjoy just being able to coach. That's awesome. The thing that worries me probably is just the recruiting aspect. I mean, I feel like I'm a personable person and can talk all day if I need to, but at the same time, it's just like high school, you pretty much get what you're dealt, and you just develop them, and then we have awesome talent here and good teams right now, and so we're working on developing those kids, but at the same time, we have to bring people in, and that's something that we just don't get handed to us like you do at a high school. You actually have to go get them, and so that's the thing that worries me the most, is just kind of going and getting that talent and bringing them in. So yeah.